About a year ago, I saw this video, and the first line hooked me.
For a long time, I'd look at fighting games, and I'd say, that looks so cool, but I don't think it's for me.
With that, I knew this video was coming from the same place I was at. As a kid, my family would go to Mr. Gaddy's, and a few times while in the arcade after stuffing my face with pizza and soda, I would see Tekken, and I would go and play it for a little bit, but it didn't give me tickets. I thought it was cool. I liked being this cool leopard man. I liked using the sword guy to spin around. I didn't get how I was doing it. I was just doing it and having a good time. But I needed tickets to get prizes, so I kind of left it alone. The closest I got to communal fighting games was my time with Smash Brothers with my neighbors and my brothers. But then my brothers got laptops and were too PC Master Race to play Nintendo with me anymore, and my dad would come down to play Godzilla, Destroy All Monsters, and we'd play maybe one or two games before he got tired of me picking him up over and over again with Megalon. So my go-to genre became RPG and adventure games, ones that are really good by yourself, shelving the ideal of ever getting good at fighting games because even if I did, who was gonna let me beat them up? But yeah, a year ago I saw this video and I thought maybe it's time to put the training gloves on and give it a shot. I then spent the next week getting obliterated in Tekken 7 and giving up. I tried again when Street Fighter 6 came out, and I played the story mode for maybe a day or two and some online before Diablo 4 came out, followed by Tears of the Kingdom, and I thought that my dreams of being an Evo champ were forever gone. But when those games were done, something happened that changed it all for me. My best friend, and now fighting game rival, got into it. It's now been a year since then, and I've played Street Fighter a lot. I've competed in a tournament, didn't win, played online with some streamers, and even played in the arcades of Tokyo, where I did manage to pull out some games. So I want to take this moment to thank Patrick Gill for making that video, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have given it a shot. But now I thought it'd be kind of fun to take a look back at it and the video that got me into it and just kind of talk about how it went for me, my experience getting into fighting games with step 1.
Decide you want to do it.
I'll try to keep it short on this one, but yes, I decided 2 or 3 times to get into fighting games, but for me, it was easiest when I had someone to compete with that wasn't a guy online taking me to the cleaners for 12 sets. But when that would happen and I felt just incompetent at the game, I would relax and play on the computer, and on the second monitor, I'd watch Core A Gaming's channel. I think I watched the entirety of it, and this would get me excited to go back and play more. They say that if you want to learn a language, you should immerse yourself in it. Listen to the music, maybe change your iPhone's language, or watch television programs in that language. My version of this was watching tutorials from people way better than me, like Justin Wong, Punk, Diaphone, Brian F., just to name a few. Most recently, I've been watching Thorgy's Arcade and his deep dive retrospective into Street Fighter, which I highly recommend to anyone who hasn't seen it, especially the 4th one where he dives into the Street Fighter live action movie. It's hilarious. Staying surrounded by the media kept me excited because I get to see new crazy combos and think maybe I could do that. I'd see people at the top of the ladder fighting and think maybe one day I can climb there.
Step 2, pick a game.
For me, this was pretty easy because I thought jumping into Street Fighter 6, since it was new, would be my best chance at getting into a fighting game. And, hate it or not, they added a new feature called Modern. Without it, I never would have experienced the joy of seeing a combo convert into a level 3 super. That feeling of hitting the first attack and knowing that in 4 more taps of my circle button, I'll be executing an 8-foot-tall Russian with an aerial kick truly made me feel like this was something special and that I could get good at it. Now, I thank Modern for being in the game, because without it, I don't know if I would have gotten started. But now I play Classic, and on that note,
Step 3, gear up.
I went overboard. I'm going to admit that now, but I regret nothing. I wanted to learn Classic, but my fingers did not understand the layout on the controller. Ask me to do a DP on one, and watch me have a conniption fit. If I was going to learn Classic, I wanted the Classic buttons. So I bought the Victrix Pro fight stick in the leverless layout. Leverless layout. I ended up choosing the leverless design because I thought that maybe that would stop me from moon jumping every 5 seconds, something that my friend playing Modern would catch every time. And TLDR, it did not stop me. But I did get a lot better after getting this controller. Seeing this financial commitment sitting in my living room forced me to sit down and grind out time in the practice room. Though it took months before my Classic inputs caught up with my friend using Modern, I eventually got there.
Step 4, pipe check.
Step 4 is about internet connection and whatnot, and just to let you know, I never got an Ethernet hookup for my PS5. I didn't have it the way my apartment's laid out, just wasn't going to do it, and my girlfriend would have a fit if I left the cable out. So I never did it, and it didn't ruin my experience. Now, there were days where I wanted to get online and play that it wasn't the best, but I've never had people just dodge me straight out. I have disconnected from games, but it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Don't let your internet stop you from enjoying it.
Step 5, pick a character.
When I started Street Fighter, I wanted to play Cammy. In Smash Brothers, I played Zero Suit Samus, and I figured the two seem similar, and both are, I guess, my type. So I spent my first weeks trying to learn Cammy, but when my hitbox arrived, I tried to learn Classic on Cammy, and a lot of the joy was gone. In Core A Gaming's video, he explains the Korean concept of Sonimata, or
손에 맞다.
he says it better, which is the concept of a character who fits your hands. In this case, when I started using the hitbox style controller, I began to learn that Cammy's dive kick just didn't feel natural. I could do it, yes, but the spacing, the act of jumping forward, then quarter circling in the opposite direction I was jumping, just boggled my brain. Then again, I was too used to some of her moves, so there was no way I was playing a character without a DP. So I started looking at characters with DPs, but after trying Guile and Chun-Li, it was obvious that charged characters don't fit my hands. Trying out Zangief and Manon, I realized grappling isn't for me. I love Zangief's end screen, but entering that 360-degree move on a hitbox was not for me. Manon's end screen and her level 3 supers just didn't feel cool to me. This left me with only a few characters, Ryu, Luke, or Ken. Ryu seemed fun, but he moved a little stiff to me, and my best friend and rival, well, he's playing Luke, and I'm not mirror matching for the rest of my life. So Ken was the last man standing. Since then, Akuma has come out, and he seems to be the full package for me, but I learned all my basics on Ken, and hitting that sweet, sweet wake up level 3 super will just never get old to me.
Step 6, learn to play.
This is really going to be a personal journey for everyone, so I won't spend too much time on it. But harkening back to the ideas of immersing yourself in a language if you want to learn it, phrases like meaties, okies, DPs, DIs, drive rushes, linking, and the list goes on, these words, much like combos, take time to learn and put in practice. Just knowing the buttons in your combo doesn't make you understand how to do it, when to do it, when you shouldn't do it. That takes time and practice. Not just in the training room, but online against people who will show you when something is not as good as you thought.
Step 7, fight.
This is what it's all about, baby. That sweet, sweet street fighting. Being on the ropes and pulling out that level 3 super at the last second, getting absolutely wiped by a master who's learning a new character, and finally getting to run a guy 5-0 and prove to both yourself and him that you've improved is truly amazing. Fighting a human is so fun, as they're restricted to the movesets of a character, but their personality will show through. Did they spam 100 different faces during the loading screen? If they did, I bet they're waking up with a DP the first chance they get. Maybe they'll play super safe, taking only guaranteed high damage combo routes. Possibly still, they're just a living flowchart, and they'll stick to that routine under all the pressure you can throw. My hands still get a little shaky when I see that big rank up opportunity in the corner, or when I see someone with that new player or new challenger ranking, and I know they're going through their placement matches, I feel the need to stand up for all the gold players. Nothing really shows you your flaws faster or allows you to grow quicker than tanking it against a player that's better than you. When I used to go to the arcade as a kid, I had no defense against the tactful art of button mashing, but now I feel comfortable in saying that I could beat any button masher. Probably.
Step 8, struggle.
This is where I am in my fighting game journey now. I've passed my Dunning-Kruger peak of ignorance, and I now carry on my Sisyphean task towards enlightenment. Completely aware that this slope will not be kind and it will take time, and honestly I don't know if I could push through this area normally. I want to have fun when I sit down for my game time, but one thing alone has made this climb of self-progression worth it.
Step 9, community or rivals.
My rivalry with my best friend Zach has made this journey so much fun. Right now, we're swinging sets back and forth, playing up to 40 games in a night, with scores split right down the middle. The pendulum that puts us in the zone swings back and forth as we adapt to each other. Hands down, this has been the most fun part of learning fighting games. It feels like playing Pokemon, with a rival battle that keeps getting harder. When it comes down to it, Zach is my boulder. He's the one I'm pushing up this hill as I learn, wrestling with each other as we climb. Without him, however, I would not be anywhere near where I am out, and I'm not even sure I'd still be playing. And I'm sure he'd say the same. I've tried going to local bars for some in-person tourneys, but that never stoked my fire the same way as seeing Luke's stupid forearms expand like anchor arms every time he steals a set from me. Fighting games have really become a place where my best friend and I throw on some boxing gloves, knock each other around while we try to get in each other's head, laugh when we mess up, and scream when we squeak out a victory. To this day, dealing a perfect KO deals direct psychic damage to each other. And the best part is,
Step 10, it never ends.
as Patrick says, you're only the best until someone beats you. To me, there's only one real rival, and as long as I can keep up with him or beat him, I'll enjoy my time in the fighting games. I don't imagine either of us will pull ahead of each other anytime soon. It's awesome fighting him for like a week, only to hop online and realize that I've been growing that whole time. I'm pulling off on reaction things, learning my combos better, and just all around improving. Fighting games truly are a different kind of game. And this was just my experience of getting into them without losing my mind. Thank you all for watching. This was just something that I thought would be fun to do. Since I really love Patrick's video, I still watch it every so often, and I think it's just really fun, and I thought this would be a fun way to kind of respond to it and show that it did get someone into fighting games. It actually got 2 people in, and I showed it to my other friend, and he's playing now. So I've been trying to convert people to Street Fighter so that I have more friends to fight. I even used my birthday coming up here soon to convince all my friends to come to a bar where I'm going to force them to play me. I don't care. The bar has it, and we're playing it. and it's going to be a great time. And thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and peace. And if someone would share this video with Patrick, it would mean like a lot if he like commented. That'd be really cool.